Are we back to that Goldilocks kind of situation where everything's stable and okay and risk assets grind higher?
It feels that way. The market was strong yesterday on the back of no bad news on North Korea, Irma being a little bit better than people might have feared on Friday. So the absence of bad news is enough to take stocks higher. I think a lot of that has to do with how investors are positioned, being underweight equities as they have been for a number of years. Everyone's waiting for that proverbial pullback, and it just doesn't want to come as long as people are underweight.
North Korea, the risks around that have faded for about 5 minutes. The new sanctions have come on. We sit here waiting for North Korea's response. Is this just something we've got to live with for the next who knows how long?
Yeah, I think it is. I think in the absence of something really horrible happening, the passage of time and the lack of news being as bad as one might fear coming out of that part of the world is enough to keep the market grinding along. I think generalized fear is not enough to take the market down. You need a specific event, and we haven't had that.
Well, one thing to watch out for, though, are corporate profit margins. Talk about something specific, and that brings us to D.C. At what point do they start to roll over where we actually need tax reform to have equities move higher?
Yeah. Operating margins, profit margins have been at elevated levels for a number of years. They have come off a little bit. A lot of that has been the energy sector being weak. But if we talk about net profit margins, which is what matters, the bottom line EPS margin, if you like, that would be helped by tax reform. I think that is the next leg higher, the next driver of the market. So I do think tax reform is important. I don't think it's priced in, though. We talked about this last time I was on the show a few weeks ago. I do not think tax reform is priced in. You see that in the stocks that have underperformed this year tend to be those with the highest tax rates that would be the biggest beneficiaries of tax reform. So I think it would take the market higher, but absence of tax, a lack of tax reform, I'm not sure would be enough to take the market down.